Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I recently had a bot account created on leechess.org going by the name of MasterStockfish, and I'm running Stockfish 15 on an old 4th generation i7. And I want to put out a challenge to what's considered the strongest bot on the site that goes by the name of ResoluteBot. And it's also running Stockfish. But the main difference here, and there are of course many different variables, but I believe the primary one here is that I'm up against a AMD Threadripper 3990X, which is running a beefy 64 cores. So I'm going to throw out a challenge, and this is the first challenge I'm throwing its way. Its conditions could only challenge it up to a 3-second increment. I'm going to give myself some time here with a 20-minute game, and we'll just see how it goes. Let's see how long my my CPU could handle this monster, and maybe give it a good game. Let's see what color we get for starters. Okay, well, this is already an uphill battle. Playing with the black pieces. So I'm already at a slight disadvantage. So let me get the engine running here. Okay. So D4, how do we want to meet this? I'm going to go with primarily the very top move throughout that my computer says here. So knight f6 and c4. And we're going to go with e6. This seems like the main approach. And I guess we're going to go down to a Nimzo Indian right here. Bishop to b4 considered best. So let's do it. Threadripper here is moving instantaneously. And do we have really any decisions? We're trying to basically just stay above 0.00, or not above. We'd like to go below 0.00 if we're going to somehow manage to win with the black pieces. All right, it's suggesting castles. Let's go with castles. No, castles, bishop d3. All right, d5. I want to give it some time in this early stage to do some thinking here. Suggestion of, what is it, d5 and c5? I guess we'll go with we'll still stick with d5. Sometimes when it's really close with the evaluations, I may want to steer towards something that's maybe a bit more sharp. Okay, knight f3 on board. And I may have a pick right around this stage. Capturing on c4, c5, or b6. All right, I'm going to once more just go with the very top. There doesn't seem to be a great choice there. Let's capture on c4. Immediate recapture. And I guess c5. Have to challenge this big pawn in the center, so c5 it is. Castles for white. And do we have a decision here? I'm guessing not. Capture on d4. Knight c6 is pretty close by. It's only at, right now, 27 ply, 26 ply on my setup. So I'll go with the c takes d4. So white's playing with this IQP position. I'm not sure. I feel like already that this is very much within my processor's capability to maybe draw here. It's not a super sharp position, so that's what makes me feel that it may be tending towards a draw. I don't know, but it's still pretty early. Okay, let's go with b6. What kind of amazing moves can the Threadripper come up with in this type of position? Maybe this was really the wrong approach with the opening. Maybe I should have tried to spice it up a little bit, but could always try for another game. We'll see what happens here, though. All right, let's swing the bat completely around. We played b6 to fianchetto this guy, so there we go. Queen e2 played. And all right, well, this is an interesting moment. We actually have a choice here. Capturing on c3 or deploying the knight. Connecting the knights. Yeah, let's see. So, well, maybe this is an opportunity to inject some imbalance here. So let's go ahead and go with this bishop for knight exchange. So we have now a change with the minor pieces and structure somewhat. And this guy's probably going to have to be tamed. This unopposed dark square bishop. So let me put these moves on. And now knight b to d7 seems like the right follow-up. Need to connect knights. And this is, I guess, is now white's first real think. Maybe up until these first 12 moves, ResoluteBot was just in book mode. Pretty sure. Book mode. Already knew the very best moves. So 12 moves in. My engine's running. I don't know what kind of lines the Threadripper is coming up with right now, but we'll see what's thrown our way. So it's crunching the numbers, I imagine. So I mean, as a human, I'd be thinking of a4, some type of minority move. My system is suggesting. I have to put that last move on. My system here is suggesting h6. Or excuse me, not h6. It's white to move bishop h4, knight to e5, bishop to b3. I guess bishop b3 anticipating that the bishop will be vulnerable on this half-open c file. And also it'll be paving the way to get this hanging pawn structure rolling. When it's set back like this, it's not really seen so much as positive. In order to pose any serious threat to black, I believe this setup needs to be on board 2 pawns, a duo on the 4th rank. So we will see. Rook f to c1 is now, my system is saying rook f to c1 with a 0.2 eval. Also knight d2. Okay, well that's interesting. We'll see if any of these top 3 moves on my system are played by the Ripper. The first big think here for move 13. No white rooks are playing just yet. Do we know where they belong? What would be, I'm wondering a little bit about this knight d2 move. What's the idea exactly behind it? Would it be to get this f-pawn rolling? These ratings, by the way, are a bit deceptive. This rating that I have, I mean, it would seem that my setup is better than this one, but that's not the case. This rating came about just by playing the same engine over and over, so it's a bit misleading there. Okay, so in the end, it does come up with one of the top three that my system has. It's going with rook f to c1. Okay. So, and that's interesting. Rook f to c1. You know, normally you would think maybe go to this half-open file. Like this one here, but there is a point in keeping this guy here because this is still a possibility. And in the end, some target will be created on black's end. So, all right, let's see. I do have a pick at this stage. I am just relaying these moves manually. Rook c8, queen c7. I'm not sure the difference between the two. All right, I'll go with rook c. I'll go with rook c8. Yeah, why not? Rook c8 it is. Now what? I have to be careful. 3-second increment is not really a whole lot. I have to pick up the pace eventually. And here we go with a4. Now a4 wasn't one of the top moves on my system, so okay. It's still reading as equal on my end. h6, queen c7, bishop takes f3. Really? Oh, bishop takes f3. The queen can't recapture. So you get the bishop. Ooh. Wow. Okay, well that would definitely make it a bit more interesting. Another imbalance, structure-wise and minor piece-wise. Should I go for that? It's one of the top moves. Let me try that one. Okay. This is surprisingly turning much more interesting than I thought it would turn out to be in the early stage. Let's go for bishop takes knight. So now it's a true bishop pair for Team White. But this is going to look like it's going to be a pretty ugly structure here coming up. There's really only one move here, so it's still just thinking about what exactly. Okay, that move will be played. There we go. And now what do we have here? Once more, this queen c7 is on board. Queen c7, h6, knight b8. What is knight b8 about? That's a fancy move. Knight b8 now at the top move. All right, it's jumping around quite a bit. Let me give this moment in the game some time. Give the engine some time. So maybe the idea is to sneak into a5. It doesn't seem so timely though. Like this, isn't a5 hitting pretty fast? Well, these king moves and the rook coming over. King h1, rook g8, opposite the king. Might be something. Okay. Let's go with that top move again. h6. Yep. So a little punch against the bishop. We have a flight square. Though, in playing against these two bishops, I'm not so sure we could safely say to ourselves, this is a reliable flight square. That's one of the problems. That's one of the positives, I should say, in having the bishop pair. Your opponent doesn't really 100% know what the greatest color flight square is best. They could both be under control in some way at some point by either bishop. Okay, wow, well, this is one of those proceed with caution type moves as a human, to break the pin like this. G5? It is saying that's the best move, but that is ultra weakening. It's saying equal with G5, and the other option is giving white an advantage of 0.33. So I think we just have to go. We have to go with G5 and not be scared. As a human, I'd be scared. Okay. My 4th generation CPU is not scared, apparently. All right, I think we might be getting a beating here. I think white's going to find a way to crack open the black position with these monsters. Okay, bishop G3, that was an only move. And now, knight D5, knight H5, and once more this knight B8 move. But we're at this point kind of locked into going with that top move, knight D5. I'm going to go with knight D5. All right. We'll see here. I'd like to get rid of... I think it'd be desirable to get rid of one of the bishops. I'm not sure how you force that, though. I keep forgetting to relay the move there. Knight D5. This is a little bit of a different setup that I have here. So knight D5 on board. Top move in my system's eyes here is to take the knight. Nearby, there's A5. Queen D3. With what exactly? Maybe to withdraw the bishop and look for a battery? Ooh, trying to deliver the old mate. Queen D3. Fancy. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to put on the top move. Let's just go. Knight F4. I have to keep in mind the clock. Still 11 minutes. Throwing a punch against the queen. This square is secure. No fancy forks that I'm seeing. All right. And it says that you have to go ahead and take the knight. Ooh. Okay. Chop away. We only have one move. Got to recapture. But now this is a completely open G file. But at least we manage, as black, we managed to get rid of one of the bishops. So what's it calling for here for white? Bishop A6? Bishop takes E6? Oh, okay, it doesn't go for that. I guess it was maybe only some rule at a draw. If white wanted to draw, takes, check, and had a perpetual. But okay. Bishop A6. Bit irritating. Rook is hit. Let's put on that top move. Right away. Rook C7. Alright. I mean, as a human here, I'm thinking you go ahead and put the king on H1, and then you get this check in here. Feels like it should be defendable. Have this knight and queen. A queen on F6 should be pretty good. I mean, I would think that having one rook exchanged is pretty likely. And would the remaining queen, rook, and bishop be enough to complicate? I don't know. Okay, well, it's showing a 0.25, which is at the moment the biggest advantage I've seen yet, I think, for white. All right, and that's at depth 32. Okay, another thinker for ResoluteBot. King H1. All right, now it's back down to 0. All right, maybe white already knows it's winning, and my system just doesn't know yet. All right, king h1. So now, what kind of pick do we have here? It's calling for king h8, knight f6, queen f6. They all feel very human-like. Okay, it doesn't like queen f6 so much, so I guess we're down to king h8 and knight f6. All right, maybe those two in the end just turn out to be interchangeable. I don't think our king could stay on g8 for long, so let's just go with this move first. We're going to have to go there at some point, and maybe instead of knight f6, there's rook g8 at some stage. Okay. Seems to be the more flexible move is what I'm getting at. All right. 10 minutes left in the tank. The natural follow-up here is rook g1. There we go, rook g1 it is. And now, okay, it's pretty much saying you got to put your knight on f6, so let's do it. Still reading on zeros on my end. Are there going to be any surprises? I just saw it pop up there c4. It is one of the moves here. It definitely does sharpen things up. Some break with d5 or c5. Now this rook could, I wonder if there's some exchange here. This rook could be a super duper flexible piece on a5. No, now we have rook a to e1. Okay, that is one of the moves. My system says that's one of the moves. Knight d5. Knight d5, rook g8. I'll go rook g8. It says both are equal. I'll go rook g8. Get a rook off. This guy is a super good defender. Knight on f6. So far I feel like my my system's hanging with the Threadripper, but again, I don't know about how sharp a position is this. A lot of variables still. Okay, c4. Okay. And this is one of the moves. It says it's the only move, pretty much. Let's go rook c5. Can't chop. Queen would fall. Yeah, this is a very timely move, isn't it? Because the bishop was kind of controlling this rook to the queen side. It was sectioned off to it seemed to be a queen side specific rook. Whereas now, I thought this was going to be a path here. Okay, we went with d5, which is not, okay, rook c5, I once more forgot. Rook c5, d5. Not so fast, white says. You're not going to drift towards the king side so easily. Okay, but aren't we winning a pawn here? All right, let's go ahead and chop. Queen takes d4, rook takes rook. Let's see. What's the plan here? Yeah, I feel like this is very much holdable. Queen d4 played. Okay, it says take the rook. Or rook takes rook or queen d6. I guess we'll go queen d6. There we go. Still up a pawn. Bishop for knight. Imbalance. An imbalance with the structure, but yeah, I don't know how much more life is really in this one. We're not working with there's not too many complications, I don't think. May have had to try a sharper opening. I don't know. Let's go with rook d1 there. And now, once more, we have a pick. Rook a5, rook g7, Rook g5. I'll go with rook g5. So the structure could maybe be repaired somewhat if white initiates the exchange on g5. Have a pretty decent pawn island of 3. It's not suggesting that. My system says bishop b7. Rook takes g5 or maybe even h4. All right, time is going to be a factor. Bishop b7. It says rook c7 is best. Let's do it right now. And there we go. I am in this pin. So no time to take here. All right, bishop takes pawn. And now, queen exchange. Offer queen exchange, queen e5. This knight was pinned, so this makes pretty good sense. Now what? Queen takes queen. It's not one of the top moves on my end. Queen d2. Okay. Let's go with rook d7. This is a big focal point. A lot of pieces on d5 right now. Yeah. The old fourth generation i7 is holding its own for now. I'm thinking it's going to be a draw. Maybe. Whoops! I once again forgot to relay the move there. And once again, yeah, I think a draw is pretty likely. Rook e1, a5. I mean, this should be a nice improving move at some stage. See, I don't think the imbalance here of knight versus bishop, I don't really see this as, oh, the bishop is far superior than the knight. This guy's pretty good here on f6. Add some nice security to the king. No, very flexible piece. Good defender, a blink away from maybe jumping, maybe some break, and you can make use of some squares. You could also just knock out the bishop at some point. Okay, we do have a move played, rook e1. And I only have one move here. Okay, easy decision. Queen d6. Okay. Queen d4, rook d1, queen b2. Tough to, oh, king g2. All right. Let's go with king g7. Guess we're both improving the kings now. A hair, tough to see improvements for the pieces. The rooks, the minor pieces, the queens. Yeah, both seem very healthy. Yeah, in anticipation of a queen exchange, this is definitely where both kings want to be. A hair closer to the center. So, right now they have to, the kings have to proceed with caution because the queens are still aboard. So queen c3, I once again only have an only move here. Okay, rook e7. I don't like that there's some only moves here I'm having to play. It could be that at a certain point it maybe just jumps up and there's a big advantage for white, but my system's just not seeing it yet. If that is even the case. But I am seeing a nice dark square grip. I just don't think that it's lively enough for white to emerge victorious here. Emerge the victor. Rook takes rook. Rook e4. h3. The knight is pinned, so there's no capture there. Maybe at some point a5? I mean, how do you spice things up here as white? Okay, rook takes rook. Gotta recapture. Okay, and what now, Team White? a5? a5, queen d7. A very small improvement, but beyond that, I'm just not seeing ways to improve the position as white or black, really. I think we're really at a standstill. If the queens are exchanged, I feel that I'm maybe even able to somehow hold a draw here, but yeah, I wouldn't say that's as confidently with the queen still on board. So we'll see. We're both right around 7 minutes left. Okay, a5 is played. Okay, let's go with queen d6. Just cover all base points. And this is a potential base point if white goes ahead and captures on b6. Okay, he's going with h3. Wants king g8 or king f8. I'll go with king f8. Out of the pin and on a dark square, so the bishop can't hurt the king. And now, okay, chop on b6. Take with the pawn. If I offer to draw, I'm not sure. Again, this is the first time I'm playing against this bot, so I don't know if it would accept a draw if I threw a draw offer. But this really does feel like a dead drawn position. Queen a1, queen b2, bishop b7. None of the moves scream out to me, wow, I'm in trouble or anything like that. Bishop b7 it's almost just like a passing move. I may be offering a draw offer. I may offer a draw. Let's see a few more moves first. We'll see if it accepts. The one bot I was playing against is ResoluteBot, and that one is set up where it does offer some draws. Okay, I doubt that there's any great difference between b7 and a8. Again, it really does feel like a passing move. And when you see this next one, you kind of think the same thing. We're just right around now just shuffling, it seems. Repetition of position, threefold, repetition draw, possibly. Okay, queen e1. Queen e1, king g7. Let's go with king g7. Yeah, we have really not drifted far away at all from 000 reading the eval. Queen a1, c3, b1, a1, c3, b1. What are these moves even doing? Okay, I mean the knight is in a pin, but yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make this move here. Queen c5. Yeah, and now it starts to be even a bit more clear when you see this queen post. You start to see harmony. Pawn defends the queen, queen defends the pawn defends the pawn. King defends this, this. I mean, how is this configuration broken down is the question. And let's put these moves on. All right. Well, there's even an opportunity to play b5. I'm going to go with b5. Since, wait a second. Well, is b5? I guess b5 is a move. Okay, yeah, I'm still, I'm still thinking like I have to calculate there. I'm concerned of like this move here, but the king could play here, and if there's a check, the knight could take and defend the queen. Anyhow, I'm going with b5 because it seems like we're tending towards more simplification. It'll be a bit more clear that this is a drawn position. So I'm going to go ahead and take. Just about 5 minutes each now. Bishop takes c4. Some queen move, queen e7, f5, c7. Let's go to f5, I guess. Yeah. Now it's far from, we're only working with one side of the board, really. These guys are on the queen side, but only one base point to watch over. Okay. Queen g6. Move 45. Yeah. Bishop b3. I'm going to go back to f5. Maybe we'll have a repetition of position. See, at this point, I don't think there's going to be any pawn moves for white to make. The only target is this, but it's easily defended, the queen on g6, and it's not like we're going to be forced into a Zugzwang. Queen d7, e6, d5. All right, we'll stay on this fifth rank. And it does seem like white is set up here where not going for some repetition of position. Queen c7. All right, let's go king f8. Queen's good, knight's good. The structure as is. How does the bishop challenge the queen? Okay, let's go back to g7. Yeah, the bishop could only challenge the queen if the queen is supporting the bishop, because this square is covered. Although I guess the queen could be here, and then there's that without this if we're in the pin, but yeah, really not much life left to this. Okay, queen d4, knight d7. I'm going to keep this knight right where he's at. I'm going to go queen d4. Okay. A couple more moves. I think I'm going to just offer a draw. Okay, there's a threat actually. Okay. We could defend it in multiple ways. Queen d7's a fine one. Yeah. I don't know that I want to go on for 50 moves here to agree to a draw. Pretty sure this one's a draw. All right, queen d4. I'm going to make the draw offer here. Offer the draw, then make the move. I think that's the way. And white's probably just going to move and it'll be declined. Yeah. So queen d4, queen back to c7. Let's go back to d7. Just have 1 point to watch over. We might be repeating right about now. Let's go back to this d4 square. Repetition, ResoluteBot, yay or nay? Hopefully it's a yay. It's okay to repeat. Okay, not quite. Oh, man. Pretty sure this one's over. All right, knight h7. Gonna try for this, and then a break with h4. Or not. Bishop there. All right, knight back. This one's cooked. Queen b7. Knight g8, queen d8, queen d6, and g8. I have a time advantage. All right, queen b5, queen f6. Oh, you know what? This queen on f6 is probably even better than having the knight on f6. Everything's nice and tidy. And now maybe from here we jump to these two for the remainder of the game. The bishop could never control this square. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I just go with these two moves. Even if they're not the top moves by the computer. It is. Knight h6. But I doubt there's any move white could play where one of these two moves is losing. Yeah, let's just go with this. Yeah, sadly this may have to go 50 moves. But all right, I'm rolling the dice a little bit with putting the knight here. I better be careful. All right, it likes knight e7. I guess, yeah, this is another square I could be pivoting on, just to be on the safe side. I was fearful, like, knight here, maybe this battery is scary. Okay. The knight could also go here. Maybe these are better. Knight g6, h4. How about that? Maybe that's the plan. Get that knight. Is knight g6 a move? Knight g6 must also... I'm gonna roll the dice here and just play knight g6. Hopefully it's not losing. Yeah, it should be. It should be perfectly fine. Okay. So now... There we go. King takes. Queen ending. King h5. Let's not do that. King g7. I think if I do another draw offer and it's declined, this thing goes to gray. It says you're throwing out too many draw offers. That's enough. All right, king h6. Queen g6. Queen exchange. I believe it would be white. If the queens are exchanged, it'd be white who has to be a bit careful. King h7. That's the human move. Just cutting out the queen entering the king side. Perfect coordination. Still. Queen e6 will offer another queen exchange. I'm expecting it to be ducked. Yep. No thanks. King g7. Well, at least the moves are going to have to come in a little faster for white with this 3-second increment, so maybe getting to move 50 won't take too long. Okay, although it's suggesting f6, which would mean that we have to go another 50 moves, so I'm going to try to do without any pawn moves. So that 50 move counter doesn't reset. This does allow the queen to get in. Also queen exchange, 50 move rule, but I think maybe all pawns would be exchanged before a 50 move rule would come into effect. All right. Queen g7. Under a minute. Be a lot quicker here with the moves. Queen c8, queen f6. All right. Queen e8, queen g7. Yeah, I don't even think there's ever going to be a point, really. Unless there's a queen exchange, there's not going to be a point where black has some only move to make. No difficult decisions ahead in this one. Under 30. Might be a win on time. King h6. When was the last exchange? Okay. Check. f6. I'm not going to play f6. We're going to go king h7. Stay away from pawn moves. Watch, maybe before move 50. Before move 50, white will play something like this. And say you got to go another 50. Oh, man. Trying to flag me? Is that what's going on here? Threadripper? Trying to flag me. Burn my clock. All right, queen f6. Queen showing her mobility, that is for sure. King h7. How many more moves? King g7. Back here, king g6. Only have 2 minutes. Check. Queen g7. Okay. Not the greatest finish. But this one is dead. Queen a1. Okay, sure. f6. I feel like I'm going to run out of time if I'm not faster. Gotta go. King h5. Queen g6, king g6. We'll go king g6. This is a nice little shelter for the king. I guess this is one thing we could take note of. Queen endings, this is... Oh, this was a threefold repetition position. Yeah, this final one. Yeah, this is a nice construction that does a good job in preventing any perpetual check against the king. This structure, much more airy, and this guy is vulnerable to many checks, as we saw, up into this 91st move, and this is where it ends. So it did turn out to be a threefold repetition. I think maybe a rematch is in order at a later stage, but I'm looking forward. This is a first video I'm doing of this type, so I'm definitely welcome some feedback you can throw my way of how I could maybe spice it up some, choosing a particular opening or any feedback you have to this, feel free to leave in the comment section below. Clearly, this is just one game here, so it doesn't paint a great picture of just how strong this ResoluteBot is, but a fourth generation i7 can certainly hold its own. I learned that much from just this one game, so also playing with the black pieces. But again, any feedback you'd like to leave, I welcome it in the comment section below, and I hope you found this video interesting. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.